Good morning. I am Dr. Frederick Mulder from Winchester, and I have a special challenge for the principal of Ridley Hall, Dr. Michael Volland, this morning. I hope I get his surname pronounced correctly. Now, the background is this. I'm good friends with Dr. Ian Paul. We did some things together at Tyndale House a couple of years ago, and yesterday I placed on his Facebook the following. My friend Ian, what do you think? Is it not inevitable that the Church of England will make provision for LGBTQ revisionist liturgies and partnerships as an alternative to biblical marriage for those who want it? The other day, someone credible informed me that when the Archbishop of Canterbury spoke at Wycliffe Hall recently, all members of staff and students were told beforehand that no questions about the new transgender liturgy approved in December 2018 were allowed. And then I placed a picture below this of a very controversial vicar called Rev Sally Hitchiner. She's a openly LGBT campaigner, and she was invited to go and give a talk at Ridley Hall a couple of months ago, and then the official Twitter account from Ridley Hall said the following. Ridley Hall, 11 February, very excited to welcome Sally Hitchiner, founder of Diverse Church, to Ridley later this week to speak about pastoral care for the other. Another fantastic contributor for a special course that they offer. And then you had hashtags diverse community, diverse church, and so forth. Now, the principal of Ridley Hall objected then to the picture of this vicar, which has the LGBT rainbow collar in this picture, together with a tweet from Ridley Hall. And this is what he said. He said, "As the current principal of Ridley Hall, I am disappointed by Frederick Mulder's misuse of one of our tweets, pulled out of context and combined with a deliberately provocative image of Sally. Sally came in to speak about pastoral care for the other, as the tweet specifically said. She came as one of a series of invited guests and did not focus on LGBTQ+. She did a great job of helping some of our students to think more deeply about the kinds of church leaders they are going to be. Frederick, your post may be a genuine question to Ian, but I would be grateful if you would be good enough to separate it from the image you have chosen to use, which is misleading." And then you've got a whole string of people who liked this comment from Michael. Now, I've got a challenge for Michael on this issue. But before I get there, let me say I will at the end offer a qualified apology. But before I'm going to get there, I first want to just give an overview and provide a context for this specific issue that is now being raised on social media. Now, just a bit of background about Ridley Hall. Ridley Hall is known to be an evangelical college in the Church of England, famously founded in the 1880s, and they've got a long history of evangelical scholarship. Also, of course, the recently deceased theologian Michael Green went to Ridley Hall, and there's a string of other influential Church of England scholars who has gone there, including John Stott. Now, the first thing that is encouraging about Michael's comment is that they want to be a biblically based college that supports evangelical values and follows Scripture. Now, what do they actually say? If you go to their community rules, they specifically say at point number 5 that they respect and uphold the authority of Scripture and the discipline of the Church of England with regard to human sexuality and marriage. Now, the interesting reality that we are facing is, if you make a statement where you connect your community rule specifically to the Church of England's view on sexuality, that would certainly imply that you promote or subscribe to the official doctrines of the church, but also their House of Bishops pronouncements. And by default then, we have to conclude that they would then also accept the new transgender optional liturgy that was approved by the House of Bishops a couple of months ago. Now, I will come back to this at the end. Now, Michael notes that Sally came specifically to speak about pastoral care for the other. Now, I've studied at a number of theological colleges over the past 15 years, and my understanding, and please disagree with me if you want to, if you bring in a practical theologian or a scholar who is focusing on pastoral care, such a conversation is not detached from theology. If you bring an activist who, let's say, believes in racism and actually propagate that, but you say he's just going to talk to us about pastoral care, if you don't regard the issue that you're going to talk about as sin, that will have a direct impact on the pastoral care that you are going to offer as a means of engaging with people who struggle with this issue. So your theology can't be separated from your practical theology. That's the one thing. The second thing is, if I invite a controversial scholar or theologian who's notorious in the media for making provocative claims, by inviting that person, even if it's part of a group of people, I am providing a platform for that person. Sally has been deliberately provocative in the media, on the news, everywhere, and to provide a platform for her, you have to take responsibility for doing that. So my challenge to Dr. Michael is, I'm willing to apologize if I caused harm, if you will be willing to publicly reject the transgender liturgy that was approved by your bishops in your church, because I don't see why it could be misleading and creating a wrong impression about LGBT sexuality, issues when somebody's invited to come and talk, and now, we are misleading the public. If you already endorse the Church of England policies on human sexuality against the background of a transgender liturgy that was approved December by all your bishops. So if you are willing to publicly publish a statement rejecting the transgender liturgy, I am more than willing to apologize in public if I caused any harm with this picture I attached to your Twitter account.